Hello, Danny. How are you doing today? Oh, sorry, YouTube. My air conditioner just turned on, so I had to go turn it off. Danny, YouTube. I'm sorry. Danny is dead. Apparently, Danny is gone. I apologize, chat. Um, small technical difficulties. Uh, uh, so I'm gonna assume while Danny's getting her stuff fixed, I'm just gonna give you guys a couple heads up things. Um, so uh, we're trying to work on getting Trials of Casuals to a regular scheduled release time every day slash week that we release it. So it's mostly up to me because my head ass is terrible with fucking schedules. Um, so and Danny messaged me that it's apparently not picking up her mic. Oof. So yeah. Uh. So yeah, that's fine, Danny. Danny can hear me. I'm assuming. So. So yeah. While Danny is fixing your mic, I'm gonna continue talking about this. So we're trying to get an official day that works really well. Trying to bounce between schedules. Um, Obviously the prime time would be Thursday night until, eventually I go back to working on Thursday nights. So slowly gonna try and figure things out. I'm kind of debating on doing the recording Thursday night and releasing it Friday morning before I leave for work. The other option would be record it Thursday night and then immediately upload it right afterwards. So for those of you watching, please, 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 not just for the algorithm, but just to let me know, comment below the video where you're watching, and let me know when you would like to see it. Would you like to see the video get released the night we record it, uh, or would you like to see the video released in the middle of the day or like the late morning, early afternoon, roughly around anywhere between 11:30 to 1 o'clock? Um, I want to figure out like when the best time will be to release said video. Um, just to kind of get used to getting a relatively decent schedule. So I'll probably be releasing this video. I'm recording on March 24th right now, which is a Friday night. Um, so I'm debating. I'm probably gonna end up uploading it tonight, so that way, for those of you that are watching it now, you can watch it now. So yeah, I apologize. I'm just
Right.
rambling on. Hey, Danny.
Yeah, I had to switch USB ports.
Oof.
It was really weird.
You might need to get that. You might need to get it cleaned out, or get one of the metal strips replaced if that's the case.
I mean, I could do that, or I could actually like set everything up on the desktop.
Also true. Also based. So let me swap to the actual screen where I'm gonna be mad crispity. Because obviously it's nighttime, so the only light I have is my overhead light, and I apologize. I still do not have a backlight. So I'm gonna look mad blurry. Um, where Danny over here is just looking like perfection. You know how it goes. Um, Danny, how are you doing today? Other than your mic not wanting to be your mic,
I'm doing all right. I am doing all right.
did you do anything fun this week so far?
I built the desktop, so
There you go. Have you posted pictures of the full? Oh well, I mean, you haven't gotten the full setup done, correct?
no, I haven't got everything like fully done yet.
Okay. Well, I was gonna say when you get the full setup done, you know you're gonna have to take pictures, right? Because
Yeah.
like I want to see the full setup. I'm also honestly low key. I'm gonna be hella disappointed if I don't see a Hello Kitty that's just completely painted black and purple on the desk, though.
Oh,
I should send you that. You know what? You know what, Danny. That's what you're getting for Christmas. You're getting a black and purple Hello Kitty. That's exactly what you're getting for Christmas this year.
oh,
So, but yeah, I guess it's time to hop into the TWAB because there's, for those of you that don't know, there's been some decent news. Um, Not news that we necessarily wanted to hear. But I mean, it's just probably better when we move straight into the actual thing here. So swapping screens here. So Bungie, March 23rd, TWAB. So we're not going to cover last week's TWAB. However, we're going to cover this week's TWAB. And starting off with the first bullet, tribute to Lance Reddick. For those of you that don't know, Lance Reddick, aka the voice of Savala, has passed away. And it's weird because it's a YouTube video, but I'm just gonna say let's do 5 seconds of silence for Lance Reddick. Thank you very much, Commander. And we'll kind of get into exactly what Bungie's doing for that. Along with that, there's a Crucible blog TLDR where they're going to be talking about some updates and some kind of things that are going on. The Raidmaster and Challenge mode starts next week. Very, very, very important. So that's going to be very interesting. There's a lot of Guardian rank updates, and a lot of them that I've seen, at least from Twitter, have been pretty solid. Destiny player support updates, which is going to be interesting. And the Move of the Week and Art of the Week picks, as per usual. So, again,
yeah.
uh, yeah, let's get the heaviness out of the way. This is a huge loss for the Destiny community, Danny.
It is. It really is.
Yeah, I mean, Lance passing at age 60. I mean, good lord, like how many different roles did he have? Like he was in John Wick. He was in The Wire, right? And
Mm-hmm.
that especially hits close to home for me because The Wire is based in Baltimore. As a
Yeah.
Baltimore person, right, a Maryland native, right, like Lance Reddick is a pretty big icon, right, for the Baltimore community, specifically about that. Um, and just the impact that he had. I mean, now I've seen a bunch of stuff on Twitter. I don't know if all of it is true, but apparently people were looking at his log, uh, and the last game that he was playing before he passed the night before was Destiny 2. Is that correct,
Mm-hmm.
Danny?
That was correct.
Yeah, he had finished the campaign for Lightfall. So he got to see the final product of it. And so it's pretty crazy. So I'm just gonna, because Lance Reddick is such a huge deal, I am gonna actually read the entirety of the tribute that they put here for him. So on Friday, we all learned of the tragic news of Lance Reddick's passing at the age of 60. As the voice of Commander Zavala, the stalwart commander of the Vanguard, Lance brought to life a character who's become virtually synonymous with Destiny itself. For nearly a decade, Guardians around the world have found purpose and comfort in Zavala's presence, bolstered by that unmistakable voice, so full of strength, serenity, and nobility. The tributes that have poured in for Lance have been overwhelming, from endless heartfelt messages on social media to impromptu gatherings of respect in Savala's corner of the tower overlooking the last city. As an actor, musician, gamer, and family man, the passion Lance brought to the things he loved was reflected in the eyes and hearts of all who loved him. For now, we will honor his presence through his performances yet to come in the game and in the memories that will last us a lifetime. We are deeply saddened by his passing, but so thankful for the time we spent together, and our thoughts are with his friends and loved ones. Thank you for everything, Lance. We will miss you. And Bungie posted Uh, Bungie themselves on Twitter posted Lance Reddick was an iconic presence on screen, in Destiny, and most importantly, in person. His love for our community shined through in Commander Zavala and his uncompromising dedication to his craft and out of the radiating kindness that touched those around him. To say he will be missed is a profound understatement, yet no less true. Rest in peace, Lance. And let's talk about this for a moment. Like, what does this? And I really want to hear your take, Danny, first on this. What does this mean for number one for the Titan community, um, who have never lost a Titan Vanguard? And number two, what does it mean for the DLCs coming forward uh, that are going to be featuring Savala?
That is something that I'm not entirely sure because I know that their plans right now are to go forward with what they already had recorded in his memory. However, I don't know how much they got to record beforehand.
Yeah.
So it depends what they're going to do from there. Because realistically speaking, it would not be right to recast for the parts that they haven't recorded yet.
I mean, I 100% agree. Because I mean, we also what happened with Ikora, like when they changed voice actors for Ikora. Now, to be fair, I actually do enjoy the new voice of Ikora. But
It's
a lot
tough.
of people were not happy about it.
Recasting voices of characters that have been consistent for so many years is tough.
Yeah, I mean, it's rough. I mean, great examples of this are the voice actors for Marcus Phoenix from Gears of War, right? I mean, Gears of War 1 released, early 2000, what was it? 2010 was Gears of War? Hold on.
It's been a while.
Yeah, and like I mean there are just iconic voices, right? Like Marcus Phoenix from Gears of War, right? Master Chief, like the iconic Master Chief. Hell, someone more iconic than Master Chief, the fucking Halo multiplayer announcer.
And like if we want to continue on the path of like iconic voices, a good example of how difficult it is to change voices for an iconic role is when they recast Snake in Metal Gear.
100%. 100%.
He's
It didn't hit correctly.
no,
It definitely missed the mark. Now granted, the voice actor that did replace the previous one did not do a bad job.
no.
Like,
It's just he's not David Hayter. It's like that's the thing. He's not. It's not the same.
yeah. And so, and I hate to say this, but if I'm gonna be honest, I think at this point they really, they should continue with what voice lines they have, and I think they should honestly kill off Savala, or if they want to keep his, keep the character alive, they need to send him off someplace where he will never ever get voice lines again.
Yeah, it's like I think it would only be right because it just would not feel right.
Yeah, and I mean Destiny came out. Destiny came out in 2014. I
Yep.
was a freshman in college. I want you all to understand in the YouTube video right now, for those of you watching, I pre ordered the PlayStation 4 Destiny 1 bundle with the pure white PlayStation. I remember that. I remember playing the shit out of D1, right?
Yep.
Like almost 10 years. 10 years he had been voicing the same character. And it's I mean, there are very few characters that were loved by the community, right? Now, granted, most people don't like Savala himself as a character.
And
However,
that was just due to writing.
yeah, that was poor writing. That wasn't Lance Reddick's part, and that's kind of where I'm going with this. Is even if people didn't like Savala, people loved Lance
Yep.
because even if the writing was terrible, Lance's voice is still amazing. Like, still, like, listening to all of the different quotes that he says is absolutely amazing. And I would love, to see. It's gonna be weird because I don't know if they can
Yep.
do the same kind of tribute that they did for Cade 6. So for those of you that haven't come back to the tower yet, to the last city, and played the new campaign yet, small spoiler: there are two new major things. Number one, the wall that's always been broken has now been extended and fixed. To bring in the commendation tree, and next to the commendation tree, there's a busk of Cade 6.
They
Um,
finally got him his statue.
yeah. Now, to be fair, Savala is not dead. However, I really, really want to know because Bungie did state that they were going to do a tribute for him in game at some point in time. And knowing Bungie, they most definitely will do a good job because even though the Cade 6 statue is very kind of small and out of the way, it's very Cade 6 esque.
Yeah.
Right? Like I think there are three main characters that people love the most in Destiny 2, right? And you can argue it as much as you want, but I think number 1 obviously was Cade 6. Like Nathan Fillion's portrayal of Cade 6 absolutely phenomenal, right? Lance Riddick alone made Savala's voice amazing, right?
Yep.
And made him so iconic in the Destiny franchise. I mean, shit. He's literally the voice of the OG Destiny 2 trailer. You know, the 2.5 minute trailer when
Yeah.
they're getting ready to launch that bitch. He voiced all of it, every single piece of it. Like, uh, it does hurt. It really hurts. Um, I don't really know what else to say. I mean, you know what? I'm gonna let you go off on this real quick, Danny.
It's just Uncharted was one of the. It's just like not only just a big presence vocal wise in Destiny, but actually in the community as well. He is one of like a handful of the VAs that have been in the game that have played and continue playing the game, hanging out with a lot of people in the community. It's like it's tough. It's really tough. It's like I think I put in like my message on Twitter that it's like losing a friend that you've had for like years.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's no one's gonna be able to, like. There's you can't replace him. You cannot
Yeah.
replace Lance Reddick, which means that you can't replace Zavala. And I'm kind of curious to see how Bungie is going to handle it. Now, again, like I've said, Bungie has done a great job with tributes. I don't think they've missed a single tribute yet. Right?
There are some really good ones. Like one of the notable ones for me is actually the existence of Luna's Howl. That gun in and of itself and the story behind it is attributed to a player and his dog.
Yeah. I mean, there's also the I believe it's the Jade Rabbit.
Yep.
Yeah, the Jade Rabbit. In Destiny 1, it was given. It had a different name, I believe, in D1,
The
right?
fate of all fools.
The Fate of All Fools was given to a player, um, who loved it so much, right? Or who loved the game a lot, and it was transferred into D2 as the Jade Rabbit. Um, Bungie has done a really phenomenal like job with tributes, and showing their community the respect they deserve on that end. So, before we get too overly sappy, I will end with this section. Is I really hope to see what Bungie does, but I can only expect grand things from them for the tribute coming forwards.
Yeah.
With that being said, uh, we're now going to move on to the second depressing topic of the day, and that is PvP. Um, I'm sorry, Danny. I'm sorry for all of you in the YouTube video. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I can't stay depressed too long. I have to crack a joke because
Yeah, that's
fuck
fair.
PvP right now. Oh my god, it is awful. Oh god. So moving on. Yesterday we released our Lightfall Crucible update blog post. We aren't going to post all 5,000 plus words here, but it's a summary of everything they've covered. Now, Danny, have you seen that blog post?
I saw that it came out, and I've just been listening to like a second-hand opinion on it.
Okay. So we're just gonna quickly go over this. So there's updates to how maps and game modes are weighted. And they talked about this previously, how they're going to be taking modes out, putting modes in, making sure that certain maps don't get certain modes because they're awful, which is good. Matchmaking adjustments and an explanation of Fireteam matchmaking. Again, we kind of saw a post about that in a TWAB previously about how they're trying to fix matchmaking specifically for fire teams. Again, I think that's a great choice. Competitive matchmaking and how skill rating works. We've talked about this for months now of how they're basically taking what's known as ELO, MMR, or how do they describe it again? What was the term? Do you remember?
Uh, I can't really remember the term that they use for it.
Yeah. But basically, your individual player's rating, or like skill level in a point-based system, and matches you with people along those same points. Future competitive rewards and quality of life updates. Upcoming Iron Banner and Trials of Osiris plans, and new and returning game modes. Now, again, we will not be going into this. That blog post is 5,000 plus words. I'm not covering that tonight.
Yeah,
That's a lot.
they're really breaking Crucible apart right now, which is fine. It's
Which
like
it needed to happen.
I like genuinely I don't think Crucible has been solid since D1.
Well, I think too many things have happened. Obviously, the introduction of too many guns, new abilities, updates has been very, very bad for D2's PvP. Now to all you PvP players, um, I feel bad for y'all. Y'all got to deal with some garbage bullshit on the regular. So,
Especially the connections.
especially the connections. Yeah. So, I'm just happy to see that Bungie is still deciding that they want to continue and try and make the game mode overall better. Like, I'm never
Yeah.
gonna fault Bungie for being like, hey, just to let you know, it's probably gonna be busted for the next couple seasons. But we are trying to rework this bitch from the ground up. So I'm willing to give them time for it. Look, as long if it makes Crucible more enjoyable, take all the time you need, man. I would rather have an enjoyable Crucible experience than get shit on every 5 minutes.
I did notice one of the changes that they're making specifically to the I think it's Passage of Mercy for trials, where if you have not gone flawless in a week, it gives you 2 mercies per card.
That is interesting. And here's the thing, Danny. I would think that would be amazing if people who haven't been flawless stopped fighting people who have been flawless.
Yeah,
Like,
it would be nice.
god damn it, Bungie.
The thing that actually makes me more upset at this point is how many times you're on like your first or second game and you're fighting a team that's going to the lighthouse.
Yeah, that makes zero fucking sense. You should only be fighting teams that have continued. Like, the whole point of Trials is to fight teams that have that are continue that like are on roughly the same level. Now I get
Yeah,
it. Not
like
every player is going to be available. Like you have to make matches when you can. However, there's a reason why there's peak queue times.
like for
You
instance, trials in D1, they matched you based on card wins.
So if you had 5 card wins, you only fought someone with 5 card wins.
Yep,
And I
you
think
sat
that's
in queue for a
100%.
while, but you got better games.
100%. I think that's totally fair. Like 5,000%. That's totally fair. The only other, like, I genuinely think that that is a great system. And the only thing that I think that they should add to that is if you have already, or if in your fire team, if someone has already been flawless before, at least that season, you should only get matched against people who have also been flawless once that season. Like, I'm sorry, but the amount of times that you and I have played trials in the back half of the season, and we're seeing people who have clearly gone flawless several times. That's not okay. Like,
It's like part of that I blame on a requirement for the title is like carrying people to the lighthouse.
yeah, and if I'm gonna be honest, I definitely wholeheartedly agree with you. I think that title should be flat out removed.
It's
I think it should be legacy.
like just take that out of the title requirement.
Yeah, take it out of the title requirement. You can still keep it as a triumph, but make it a separate triumph that's not part of the gilded title. That way, people don't have to do it. And it's really frustrating. It's super fucking frustrating because how many times, Danny, have you and I gone into trials and we've gotten 5 wins in a row? You and I have both carried each other to 5 wins in a row, and we're like, all right, we're feeling good, we're feeling great. And then we immediately take 10 losses on win 6, or on game 6. Like, what do you do with that? There's no point. Like, I genuinely believe that there's the, and I hate to say this, I really hate to say this, but isn't the first trials card the shittiest one to get as the first trials card?
Um, if you intend to like actually try to go to the lighthouse, yes, but if you just want the reputation, it's better
Yeah.
because you get like a bonus reputation on every third one.
Yeah. So if you know, and it's really shitty because, like, technically, yes, it'll help you rank up, but it's really shitty for people who are really trying to, hardcore go flawless. And then after that, because you need to get that title card, or you need to get that title card. Then you get the ones that are actually fucking good. The mercy, and then the one that provides you a bonus on 3 wins, 5 wins, and 7 wins. However, that one really only works once. Then you have to, obviously deposit the card and grab a new one, right?
Yep.
That is, again, my biggest issue with it is constantly having to fight people who have been flawless when I have never once been flawless. It's such a giant pain in the ass. Because there are so many players who have been gate kept out of that title because they have never had the chance to go flawless. And they can play for years and years and years. You and I consistently, every now and then, across the past 2 years now, Danny, have tried to play trials, and every single time we get dumpstered on game 5 or 6, and it's every single time without fail.
Yeah, like I'm just at a point where if I only play trials if there's some weapon that I want out of the loot pool, which currently is the Immortal SMG, and that's it.
Yeah. So I'm not a fan of how it is. And I'm hoping that a lot of this in this Crucible update honestly gets transferred over to trials. Again, I just wish that it would get fixed. Um, Moving on, Raid Master Mode and Challenge Rotation starts next week. Danny, would you like to cover all of this?
This is fun
So
because like
explain how this exactly works. Explain it to me like I'm a 5-year-old.
okay, so since the raid's been out for a while, people have beat it and figured out strategies and stuff. They have gotten to the point now where Bungie's like, okay, there's going to be a weekly challenge. The point of doing the weekly challenge is a second chest for that specific encounter if you complete the challenge. Pretty nice. Usually drops a red border weapon if it's a encounter that drops weapons. So it's kind of nice, kind of worth it. And I know they've tweaked some things, so there is actually somewhat of a reason to try to do the master version of the raid, because the adept weapons should be on par with the crafted ones this time, instead of significantly worse than the crafted ones.
Yeah. Along with this, they've also made a couple changes. Like obviously, Nezarec and Well of Radiance was mad bugged for
There's a
zero
few
reason.
things.
It makes no
There's
sense.
there's a few things in the raid that I have heard are a little wonky.
Oh yeah, and the jump pads.
It's still funny how many things since Witch Queen have been tied to frame rate.
Which really need to change. I mean,
It's
what the
really
first week?
funny.
I mean, remember that first week of Lightfall? Or was it the first week or the second week where people were like, "Yeah, I'm dying to the grav lift when I'm trying to get to Nimbus."
Yep. Like, oh, that shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, that makes no sense. So yeah. Needless to say, Root of Nightmares is still broken. It's still probably also one of the easiest raids that you'll do.
It's like it's broken but in a good way.
Yes, it's broken, but in the haha, that's funny as fuck kind of way. And it's 30 minutes in the video, so I can now curse. Um, uh, moving on to that, Guardian rank updates. Thank you, Lord Jesus. This shit was fucking awful. You had to complete Legend Lost Sector. Fucking English is hard. God damn it. Legend Lost Sector Guardian rank objectives to move from rank 7 to 8, and you had to complete Master Lost Sector Guardian rank objectives to move from rank 9 to 10. Combined with I believe it was last week's TWAB, where they lowered the commendations required. First of all, I don't think,
Yeah.
again, I'm very much in the camp with you. I don't think commendations should have been tied to the Guardian ranks at all. And the
No.
fact that people, excuse me, people uh, are now saying shut up 6, referring to the Guardian rank if they're higher than that. Bro, what does your Guardian rank matter?
Yeah, it's like it's in theory it was a good idea. In execution, not so much.
Fucking terrible.
Like commendations, I like the system as a whole, but having the whole incentive of throwing those around just being ranking up guardian rank wise was not the way to do it.
Yeah. And I do like this last sentence here. We're also working on a broader rank remix in the future to improve the process even further. I really hope that it's not, because it's not tied to a season, right?
Yeah.
It's just permanent. So in all honesty, I genuinely think that they should wholeheartedly like reset it, because we all started at rank. If you were a veteran, you ought, for the most part, you basically started at rank 6.
Oh yeah,
Um,
everyone that played Destiny before Lightfall was given rank 6 immediately.
Yeah, and I have been fairly consistently playing Destiny 2 since Lightfall dropped. I'm still not rank 7 because there's just some things that I don't want to do. Like, commendations. I don't want to play Strikes. I don't want to play Crucible. And I sure as hell do not want to play Gambit. Also, what is up with everybody's love for Gambit recently? The fuck? It
I'm not gonna lie, I've actually been enjoying it more lately.
how? What did they do to it?
It's not so much what they did and more so just Strand. Because it just makes it so much faster.
Oh,
Like
because
that
it's easier to traverse the maps now?
Yep, that mobility from Strand, everything is just so much faster.
Yeah, but I don't want to see a Gambit match where everybody's running the goddamn same supers.
They did also like bring back Trust, and
Ah,
it
that's the
only
reason
dropped
why.
from the game.
That's fair, that makes sense. They still haven't fixed the matchmaker. Like,
I just
Bungie.
wish they'd remove the heavy. If they removed the heavy spawns, I think it'd be fine.
Yeah, the heavy spawns are kind of a pain in the ass. Because it's so hard to get heavy ammo in that game mode.
It's like,
It's almost impossible to get heavy ammo from enemies that you kill.
yeah, no, the drop rate from actual enemies, aside from the change they made to the high value target, because the high value target always drops a brick.
And I think that's fair because you actually have to take your time out of the match to actually go kill it.
Yep, like that's fine. The boxes spawning at the end of like every wave, not fine.
And the boxes that are located, right next to the fucking portal,
Yep,
can it
it's like
not be right next to the invade portal for fuck's sake? Like, Jesus Christ.
if they removed that and made it harder to get heavy ammo, I think it would be fine. Because then you would actually have to work to kill the primeval.
Yeah, well, and the other, I don't even think it's the heavy ammo's that good for killing the primeval. It's mostly to reset people on
Yeah,
invades. Like, you can literally just put a one in the comments and be like, put a one in the comment if you've been xenophaged, Eyes of Tomorrow, or what's the other rocket launcher that everyone was using? Ascendancy, into oblivion by a Gambit invader.
just if you have been invaded and immediately hit by a heavy weapon. Like right now, machine guns are running wild.
To be fair, though, it's been literally never since machine guns were good. So
Since
them,
Thunderlord came out.
which was how long ago?
God, it's been a long time.
My point. Yeah. Uh, it's about time machine guns finally had their fucking place, in the mold again.
It's still really funny that Thunderlord is one of the best burst DPS weapons again.
It hits like a truck.
Like, it can dump out 1.5 million damage in an average damage phase.
Yeah. Moving on. Destiny player support. My Immortal SMG. So we're gonna just quickly go through these. Because I think a lot of these are the same as last week. Um, this is a pretty bad one. Master Dungeons aren't showing Artifice armor in the reward preview when selecting the activity. Ugh.
I think that's just a visual bug.
Yeah, but like that could confuse a lot of players. Along with that, players in
Yeah.
Legend and Master Law sectors and Master Wellspring can become soft locked on a black screen when wiping to orbit. Players in this state can manually return to orbit to fix the issue. That's shitty though. That's really shitty because that means that you're
Yeah.
knocked out of the match.
I will say, as like a cliff note for that, where they were opened it up with My Immortal SMG. Good news. When asked about the frequency of SMG usage over the past week, Bungie responded with something that made me very happy.
Which
They
was
do not have any intention of nerfing SMGs. Instead, they want to bring other primary weapons up to the level of SMGs.
auto rifle buffs. Let's go!
Autos, pulses, scouts, hand cannons, everything that is not an SMG please.
Specifically, also, let's be honest, scouts and pulse rifles, because unless it's an exotic, and even then, there are
Even
just
then,
some
yeah.
ass scout rifles and pulse rifle exotics that are just straight up
Out
trash.
outside of PvP, you will like never see an exotic scout rifle aside from Polaris right now.
Or Dead Man's Tale. Dead Man's Tale is also good in PvE.
Sort of. Because like it's one of those things. It's still you have to weigh it's an exotic.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that hurts it is it's an exotic.
Yeah. And you would rather have your exotic be in the energy or heavy slot.
Yep.
Unless it's Arbalist, in which case it's still busted as fuck. Because Arbalist still does Arbalist things.
Or I can't remember the name of it, but the new raid shotgun.
Oh, Fidelity.
Yeah, that thing is pretty strong.
Would you say that it is bussin', Danny?
It it hits different. I watched 3 of those basically one phase Keitel in duality. That like
Good.
with
Fuck
very
that
little
dungeon.
setup. Like
Fuck that
very
dungeon.
little setup at one phased Keitel.
Fuck duality. God, I hate that dungeon so much.
Like 6 of those things must be insane. Cause they have so much ammo. They're so good.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to try it. Per Audacia, for the movies of the week. Madam Wizard time lapse. Just pretend by Bad Omens. Oh, and seeing the Lance Riddick and Savala. I'm not gonna watch the Twitter, obviously the Twitter video, but Madam Wizard posting this time lapse, and I'm gonna assume that it's probably all of the characters and how they've evolved over time. Yeah.
Probably. The next one got me.
Ando's Dan copied Lance's loadout and finished up the mission he was working on before he went to bed Thursday night. Rest easy, Commander Savala. You will be missed. Oh, he was running Lance's loadout on the Lightfall. On
Yep.
the last on the Callus mission.
Yep.
Oh, I don't want to watch it. I'm gonna cry. But damn, that's pretty good. Again, that is by Ando's Dan on Twitter. Ad Astra, Artist of the Week. Last week we lost a part of our soul. Lance Riddick was a home for a lot of Guardians, and his passing hit hard. And it's a picture of, first of all, it's by Very Red Gur. See you, Starside Commander, and it's Savala, reaching up to the sky. And where is that at? Why do I feel like I recognize that kind of background?
Uh, I forget where that is.
I mean, it's beautiful. I love it. But, like, that's absolutely amazing. And I guarantee you if I full screen the picture, it'd be even better. But I can't afford to do that right now. Because, I don't want to get in trouble. Uh, and then and then Jack draws Rest in Power Lance. And they made Lance Reddick in the Savala gear. Oh, that's so good!
There was like basically the minute that that announcement went out, there were so many people that just poured in heartfelt art and just screenshots from gathering around Savala in the tower.
That is amazing. That is incredibly well done. That is phenomenal artwork. I love that. I love the cell shade and the black and white with the clouds with the clouds above. Um, so, and that is it for the TWAB. I mean, we got some good notes, but it's if I'm gonna be honest, it's still a really hard TWAB to go over. simply because of Lance's pass.
Really is.
Yeah. So,
They did do like a few other things. Like there's a lot more in the hot fix than there was in the TWAB, but a lot of that is just general fixes.
yeah.
Aside from them fixing the damage that the threshers were doing.
Yeah, they did a lot of damage. Those
They
fuckers were hitting like trucks, and they definitely should not have been hitting like
yeah,
trucks.
they were not supposed to do that at all. So they no longer do that.
So I'm not gonna get just nuked off of planet Earth while I'm running around Neomuna?
Yep, you should no longer be getting absolutely nuked unless you're like significantly lower than
Thank
the
God.
enemies.
Getting two-shot by a random thresher, not fun. Not fun.
No, it it was not a fun experience. Like that and the interceptors both just obliterated you for existing.
Yeah, the interceptors definitely did not need to be doing that much damage when you did not do that much damage back. So, yeah. But with that being said, Danny, what are your final thoughts about the TWAB?
I like you said, this is a really hard one just to go over in general. Uh, this is about we're getting close to the mid-season uh update pass.
Yeah, that'll be coming up in the next, I believe it's 2 to 3 weeks, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
and that's when we're gonna get to see the actual like primary buff notes, because that's when that's gonna come. Those primary weapons will be buffed mid-season, and
That's gonna be a
I'm excited for that one.
that's gonna be fucking a very long TWAB. That's going
Those
to
primaries being buffed, I think legitimately is going to change a lot of people's loadouts.
100%. Or the people that have been playing with primaries and using them as primaries is going to
Yep,
make them very happy.
because I think you probably noticed as well, a lot of people that do like the solo dungeon runs and stuff, they use double special. They don't even bother with a primary.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, which and if and it's weird and it's funny that you say that, Danny. Cuz I very rarely use special ammo.
Yeah, it's
I
like
I very rarely use special ammo. I mean, my typical loadout for a Void Warlock uh is fucking is Austringer, Gnawing Hunger, uh Xeno.
yeah, like
It's a really fucked up combo.
the one thing I will say that I'm most looking forward to is like depending on the buff that they give auto rifles, I kind of want to bring out Sweet Business.
Ooh. Sweet Business is going to be good. Uh Oh, you know what's going to be another auto rifle that might come back? Uh Cerberus plus 1.
It would be really funny if it gets a significant buff from the primary buff. But like the
I would
one
love to
thing
see
that I
that.
want, I just want hand cannons of all kind to one-shot red bars again. That's all I want. Because having to use a like half a mag to kill one red bar does not feel good.
I would also love to see scout rifles and pulse rifles not be complete dog shit.
Yeah,
Like
because like
all of them. Like 95% of them are dog shit.
I fear how strong Graviton would actually be. Because Graviton's usable. If Graviton starts
Oh.
one-shotting a lot of things, it could actually be extremely powerful in the current sandbox.
Yeah. That is actually a terrifying thought. And you know what? I kind of want that for one reason and one reason only, Danny. I'm currently working on the catalyst. Please, Bungie, make it easier. That catalyst,
I
trying to grind that catalyst is a bitch and a half.
yeah, no, I don't
Oh my
disagree.
god, the catalyst sucks!
Once you get it
Ah!
though, the amount of void explosions is just ridiculous.
It's nuts on void builds. It's disgusting. I'm very intrigued. I'm very, very intrigued. Um, but yeah, with that being said, Danny, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitch and YouTube under the same name.
I thought you were gonna say something else there.
I thought about it and then I was like, nah, that's good.
Gonna keep your Twitter out of it.
Yeah, that might be a little too much.
Look, all I'm saying is that
A
if you
little too
watch
much.
this YouTube video, you should definitely be older than 18. That's all I'm saying. You should
It's
not be
true.
watching my videos if you're still in high school. Like, I'm sorry. Um, Along with that, you can find me on Twitch and YouTube at DominiFox or on Twitter at DominiFox1. Uh, I'm probably going to make a very long a very long Twitter post about the anime Call of the Night coming here soon. And it's gonna be a spicy take. So keep in store for that. Um, but with that being said, thank you all so much for stopping by. We both really appreciate it. Uh, we both hope that all of you have a wonderful rest of your day. Uh, and as always, don't be a sweat lord. We'll catch you guys next time.